I'm Matt McClure, and this is Currents. Are airports hijacking your dignity? We'll take a look at controversial new safety measures. And we'll hear about a new effort to opt out of them.
If you must fly, opt out of the scans that are potentially harmful to your health. Certainly an invasion of privacy and a violation of the Fourth Amendment.
Well, good evening. Thanks so much for joining us. Francesca Maxime has the night off. Well, the debate over safety versus privacy has been all over the news recently. At issue are those TSA pat-downs and 3D body scanners at airports. Some people say the increased security measures are nothing more than an invasion of privacy, while others insist the safety of airline passengers should be the main concern. Well, the busiest travel period of the year begins tomorrow. AAA estimates 1.6 million travelers will take to the skies this Thanksgiving weekend. So we wanted to take a look at this issue, not just from a privacy perspective, but from a spiritual and moral perspective too. When the pastor of St. Vincent de Paul's Church in Manhattan arrived at LaGuardia Airport last week, he was given an unexpected reception.
I was flying down to Charlotte, North Carolina. My suspenders have metal clips. He said, "Can you take the suspenders off?" I said, "No, my pants will drop down." So he said, "Okay, we're going to do something else." So then they did the enhanced pat-down, and that was not a very pleasant experience.
Father Gerald Murray is just one of the passengers this holiday season confronting the new airport security regulations put in place by the Transportation Security Administration, or TSA. Passengers will be required to pass through metal detectors and, in some cases, advanced imaging technology units which perform full-body scans. Should the passenger refuse the full-body scan or set off an alarm, he or she will be expected to undergo the same thorough pat-down Father Murray experienced.
I mean, do they have to do this to, 80-year-old grandmothers in wheelchairs have to go through this? There needs to be some modification of this.
The procedure has stirred up controversy across the country, especially among air travelers.
We have not had a flight go down since 2001. We have not needed any of these procedures. And I don't believe TSA has ever found a terrorist.
I think it's ridiculous, and I think the pat-downs have gotten, if he did it to me, we could go to jail.
Still others object to what they claim is a violation of their privacy, since body scanners can reveal intimate details, and the pat-downs involve searches of areas most people would prefer be left alone.
The pat-down is rather invasive, and it was actually, had the same area patted down twice, so I thought that was a little excessive too.
But TSA Administrator John Pistol insists drastic measures are necessary.
I am very sensitive to and concerned about people's privacy concerns, and I want to work through that as best we can. The bottom line is we need to provide for the best possible security.
In fact, a recent survey conducted by CBS News states 81% of Americans are not bothered by the body scanners. But while many understand that the threat of terrorism must be taken seriously, the media has picked up on images that have given people pause, like this young boy. Or this man, who was wearing a catheter bag and ended up soaked in his own urine. Or this woman, who was asked to show her prosthetic breast when it set off alarms. So the question is, when does security collide with basic human dignity? Father Joe Giabino, a professor of theology at St. John's University, says the line is not easy to define.
What do I owe the other passengers on the plane? What do I owe the government as a facilitator of safety for all people? And then what do I owe kind of a universal notion of how we live in the world in the 21st century? But if an individual says, I have a prosthetic device, or I am wearing foundation garments because of cancer surgery, that should not become an object of ridicule. Then the TSA employees must respond with sensitivity and dignity. If not, we are in an abusive situation where more and more people who have overcome cancer, say, are going to be unwilling to travel and put themselves in a humiliating situation.
One thing's for certain, passengers preparing to travel this weekend should brace for turbulence. Just ask Father Murray.
It reminded me of, the physical exam I had when I joined the U.S. Navy. At that point, I was course, trying to join the military, so I had to accept that. But here I'm simply trying to get on an airplane.
Welcome back. Well, as we heard at the top of the show, the heightened security measures at airports this holiday season are setting off alarm bells, but it's happening among passengers. And one group is taking matters into its own hands. It's actually organizing a national opt-out day scheduled for tomorrow, the busiest travel day of the year. The idea is to encourage travelers to refuse the new body scanners. Yesterday, Francesca spoke with Danny Panzella, who is coordinating the effort at JFK Airport.
Danny, thanks so much for joining us on Currents today. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
WeWon'tFly.com, trying to tell people to not get on an airplane on the busiest travel day of the year, the day before Thanksgiving, if they feel as though the full body scan technology that is often employed now in airports and the pat-downs are just too intrusive. So you came up with this website and this idea. What is your message to people?
Well, I think that we need to push back against the airlines and the TSA. So it's a two-pronged approach. If you must fly, opt out of the scans that are potentially harmful to your health, certainly an invasion of privacy and a violation of the Fourth Amendment, your Fourth Amendment rights. And if you can drive to your destination, protest the airlines. Send a message that profits will go down if they continue to subject the American people to harmful scans and invasive searches.
Let's take this a step back. Obviously, the government is saying that this is to protect consumers, to protect flyers, to protect citizens from potentially, terrorist activities. We saw last year somebody try to sneak a bomb on in his underwear, and so these kind of scans would show that area, or if you were subjected to a physical touch TSA exam, then obviously that would also identify foreign objects. But talk to me about why you think that it's just going too far, even though they might want to be protecting people.
Well, for me, my personal opinion, a lot of research has come out that the radiation from these machines is harmful. So the idea that you're going to keep people flying safe by avoiding bombs when you have a better chance of being struck by lightning than killed in a terrorist attack, yet douse people with radiation, and TSA workers are going to be standing next to these machines, and they'll be doused with radiation every day at work, substantially increasing risk of cancer. It's counterintuitive. We're going to save very few people who are killed in terrorist attacks, yet increase risk of cancer in a whole population of people who fly.
And you're obviously doing the interview here today. What else are you doing to get your message out? Because it's clear that you're saying if this isn't something you go along with, then don't play ball.
Well, we have people spreading the message all over the internet. Facebook is a powerful tool, and we're doing our National Opt-Out Day protest, which we're going to be staging one here at JFK Airport in the New York City area. Also, Newark Airport has a protest going on where we're going to try and educate flyers as they go to fly for the holidays on their choices and their rights, the rights to refuse the scan and their rights to refuse to be what many people are saying amounts to molestation by TSA workers.
Do you think that a lot of people are aware of the potential radiation dangers associated with this?
No, I don't think it's been widely enough reported. Several technical and science journals have reported on it. The media, mainstream media, for the most part, has not picked up on it. And this information is just starting to come out. The University of California just sent a letter to the White House Science Czar asking for a moratorium on these machines until a more comprehensive investigation into the health effects can be determined.
And we sort of chuckled about it when it came out maybe a few weeks ago or so. Someone said, don't touch my junk. He didn't want to go to the actual, pat down.
Yeah.
And he didn't, but, he refused to do that. What do you think the consumers are most mad about and most upset about? Is this sort of, putting their anger toward the body that's trying to protect them, or, is it really well-founded?
Well, I think it's certainly within our rights to be upset if we're going to be violated in some way. So the question really, I think, becomes how much are we willing to pay for freedom? Are we willing to be inconvenienced? Are you willing to walk away from that and miss your flight if TSA refuses to let you on the plane? Are you willing to not fly? Are you willing to be inconvenienced by having to drive to a location? How much are you willing to sacrifice to ensure that your rights are protected? And the more of us that opt out, the more of us that push back against this tyranny, the better chance we have of having it completely done away with.
Do you have any particular goals, numbers of people that you're sort of hoping opt out, or
Well, I would like 100% opt out. 100% opt-out would guarantee that the airlines are going to tell the TSA we need to find a less invasive way, a way of implementing security without violating the rights of the citizens. To violate constitutional rights for any purpose is wrong. Benjamin Franklin said, "He who trades essential liberty for temporary security deserves neither one."
Well, on that note, Danny, with the words of Benjamin Franklin, we will have to leave it for now. But thanks so much for joining us today on Currents. We appreciate it.
Thank you.